Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. I just wanted to share some good news with you all. I did share it on my community page last week, but my fitness book, the one I wrote whilst I was in prison, which is this one here, I'll put the link is in the description, but there's the picture up on the screen. It has actually been awarded the best 10 fitness books in the UK 2023. Even though it's at number 10, it's a massive achievement for me, because when I set out writing this book, I did primarily start writing it for prisoners who were suffering in prison, because I wrote the book during COVID when I was locked up in prison on 23 hours a day lockdown, and I got myself in the fittest shape of my life, both physically and mentally. And as I was writing the book, I was writing it for prisoners who were suffering with the mental health, couldn't get to the gym because we had no gym for about a year whilst we were all locked up. Even though I know everyone out here didn't either, but in there, when you were locked up in that cell for 23 hours a day, it was a hard time. And yes, we all put ourselves in there and we're in that sad, sorry situation, but I wanted to turn that around and make the most of it. And because I'm so business minded as well, I thought, I wasn't actually thinking, how can I make a business out of this at first? I was just wanting to help people who were in the same situation as me. But it wasn't just for people sat in prison. The more I started writing the book, I thought, this isn't just aimed at prisoners. This is aimed at anyone who's suffering, people feeling like prisoners, trapped in their own thoughts. So I started jotting everything down that I was doing, because I was going out onto the exercise yard and doing workouts every day, but I was getting the other lads out, the lads that I could see were suffering with the mental health and they were deteriorating. So I would go and get them out, purposely go and wake them up, bang on the doors when it was exercise time and get them out on the yard. And I'd have a group of us all training together, and there was about 5 of us, got in really fit, good condition whilst in there. And I started jotting all my ideas down, and it took us about 9 months to actually write the whole book, write the script, get it all together. And then once I was released from prison, the first day I was out, well, the second day, sorry, when I woke up the next day, had my laptop out, typing it up, and I just didn't stop until it was finished. But I'll just read a little bit that's in the book, like that page there. And it says, my inspiration for writing this book came from wanting to help others who are in similar situations, people suffering with mental health and people who want to better themselves, but just don't have the guidance on how to do this. But I'll just go through some of the contents in it, what's in the book, just in case any of you do want to go out and buy the book, because I will bet my life on it. Whoever does buy this book will take at least one useful piece of information away from it. Some people might read it and think, well, there's not that much in there that we didn't know. Because I wrote this book in simple terms, because I did read a lot of fitness books whilst I was in prison, and I just thought the way that they come across, it was just like any ordinary person who isn't, how can I put this, who isn't very clever, which a lot of people in prison aren't. These books are hard to understand with the big terminologies, big words and everything. So I wrote this book so people could easily understand it, follow it. And even if people can't read, you can just go to the diagrams that's in it and just follow them, because I've done the exercises step by step. So you can just follow them without even being able to read. And it's got all about, in the book, it's got the About Me section. So I'm telling a little bit about myself, about how I ended up in prison and different things, what benefits you will see. It's also got the psychology part in it. I'm telling you like what psychological benefits you get from it. I'm talking about mental health and how to better yourself through physical exercise and being in a positive mindset, keeping your mind focused and just training and getting through the workouts, no matter how hard they are, and just keep soldiering on until you get the workouts done. And after a few months, you become physically and mentally fit and you become a different person. If you keep yourself focused, keep off all drink, drugs, whatever, keep away from all that type of things and just concentrate on you and your mind and getting yourself in a good place, this book will actually change your life. So if you've got any loved ones sitting in prison that you would think would benefit from this, go ahead and buy me book. The best place to get it is from Amazon. You also get it from myself. I do signed copies and post them out. but those won't be allowed into the prisons. The prisons only allowed certain bookstores to send books in, and Amazon is one of them. It's also in W.H. Smith's and Waterstones. You've got to put an order in for it, but it will get to them because I have known people to get in touch and ask if they could send a book in, and they've sent it direct from W.H. Smith and Waterstones. And my book, because I got in touch with a few governors in a few different prisons, tell them all about my book, where I wrote the book at, and in particular, Home House Prison, where I actually wrote the book. The governor went and got a massive order of my books and got them in the prison library. And it is up and down the country. My book is in a load of prisons, in all the prison libraries, because when I wrote to the governor, yeah, commended us, and he sent off for one copy of my book, read it, sent it amongst the staff. They realised how good my book was and that it would help so many people. So they went and bought a big order from Amazon and put it in the prison library. And I've heard from people that have gotten out that have dropped us messages on Instagram about how my book has actually changed their life and it's actually making a difference. And they're seeing how everybody in that prison is talking about me and talking about my book. And it's all in a positive way, and it's all in a positive light. But I'll just tell you another few things that's in the book. It's got tells you how to work out in the gym, and this is on about working out with weights, bulking up in the gym, cutting and getting lean. It's got the 6-month weightlifting cycle. It's got a 6-month fitness plan. It's got advanced circuits, barbell circuits, body weight exercises, cardiovascular training. It's got fitness tests in. It's got stretching. It's also got what's called a beginner cell workout. But again, these doesn't have to just be for prisoners. It's for yourself. Sitting at home, if you don't have the confidence to go to the gym, you could get this book, and the beginner cell workout is something you could do here in your living room or in your bedroom, wherever you are. Go down into the park, onto a field. You can do this anywhere. And it's made in simple terms, and it's 5 exercises. And you can just go through it step by step. But it tells you how to build up to it. The first session, you might only do a few sets, a few reps, but it teaches you how to build up and get yourself fitter, both physically and mentally. But it's also got advanced circuits for people that are quite relatively fit and they want to advance the fitness further. So these advanced circuits are for obviously people that have been training for a while. And one of the exercises that's called bastards, and what a bastard is a bit different variation of a burpee. And the reason why it's called a bastard, because when you're doing this exercise, you're actually saying in your head or saying out loud bastard, because it's that hard. It's the hardest type of burpee you can actually do. It's like a burpee with a squat thrust, a press up into a jump, into a tuck jump, and there's about 5 different exercises in one. So some of these exercises have got like 20 bastards in this one set. So 20 of them, you can understand why it's for advanced people. But like I mentioned, when I got out and I just got straight to work with my book, it's actually the gym that I own now. My friend owned the gym, and I asked him if I could take the pictures for my book in his gym. But actually, when I first got out of prison, I was still on tag. I was on a GPS tag. But as you can see, I'll put the picture up on the screen just there. I was still on tag when I was actually taking these photos. So another inspiration for this book for other people, just don't let things hold you back. Just because I was on GPS tag, I didn't let that hold me back. I thought I'm still going ahead with these photos. And it demonstrates that it doesn't matter what situation you're in, you can better yourself. But another chapter in the book is meals and recipes, which I'll put up here now. And all of these is the type of foods that I was eating in prison. And I know some of my subscribers have asked for this type of video on what the prisoners eat. And I will do a separate video on this. But in one of the chapters, it tells you how to make the likes of like a kettle curry. So in prison, you get what's called like a little travel kettle, just a little tiny kettle with a plate in the bottom. So you can make curries in these. You put like a tin of tomatoes in, put your spices in, put your tuna in, whatever, with your onions, your peppers, heat them up. And you've also you can get couscous or rice. So you make what's called a kettle curry. And they're actually quite tasty. I was living on these for the full time I was in lockdown. And I've got, as you can see here on the screen, I've got all different types of recipes for different types of food you can eat or what you can make, because it's amazing how creative you can become when you're stuck in a little cell like that by yourself and you're wanting to eat something decent. You can buy some food on your canteen and make your own meals. So again, it's got all to do with that in. It's got supplements in, protein, creatine. It's even got the basic water. I'm telling you how vital water is, because a lot of people take it for granted. It's one of those things you take for granted. Water you can get for free. It's out of your tap. But a vital part of that, what I put in the chapter, if you're drinking water, drinking up to 3 litres of water a day when you're training, you won't believe how refreshed something like that, which is so simple, can make you feel. And again, it's something that people take for granted. They just might sit there drinking coffees and teas all day when that's not going to do anything for you. But when you're training and trying to get yourself in a good mindset and you're drinking 3 litres of water a day, flushing your system out, your head becomes so clear of something so simple. Well, there's also another chapter in here, as you can see. Have a look at the difference from these photos here, before and after pictures. The before picture is when I was in a bad way in my head because of what I'd suffered. It's because of my friends committing suicide. And that was another reason why I wrote this book. I ended up in prison because of a bad situation that I was in mentally, something that was beyond my control. 2 of my best friends killed themselves. One of them actually found him hanging, and that had to cut him down, and that what messed my head up, sent me back into a downward spiral mentally. And then my wife's auntie also committed suicide, so I experienced 3 suicides over 3 years. Then I found myself back in prison on a recall over something stupid that was all to do with my mindset slipping. So this is why, whilst I was in there in the bad situation, I was wanting to make the most out of that bad situation, which is another quote what I've got in my book, because I've got a set of quotes in my book which will benefit people massively as well. I'll put them up on the screen as well if you want to pause the video and just have a look at them. And one of them is, make the most out of a bad situation. Don't let it destroy you. And that's exactly what I've done. But the before and after pictures speak for themselves, like the state of mind you can see in my eyes. It's because of what I suffered was the reason why my mind was suffering. But obviously when I was in prison, I come to terms with everything, got myself in that best mindset. And that's the reason, as you can see, just here, I've made a dedication page, that one there, and it's got me 2 best friends and my wife's auntie in. And I'll just read out what I've got on. It says, I'm dedicating this book to the memory of my best friend Toddy, my best friend since the age of 10, my wife's auntie Linda, and my very good friend Ross Hunt, all sadly no longer with us, all who battled with their mental health and thought there was no other way out and sadly took their own lives. Their legacy will live on. May they rest in peace. So I want to raise awareness to mental health and let people know it's okay not to be okay. It's okay to open up and talk about your problems. I'm not saying this book is the answer to people's mental health problems, but it will certainly help, as it's helped me over the years. And I've got below is a list of different numbers for charities people can ring if you ever feel there is no way out. And there's the numbers on the screen just there. It's got the Samaritans, Samaritans for prisoners, Samaritans for everybody who's out in the community, CALM, Campaign Against Living Miserably, SOS, Silence of Suicide, Mind Mental Health Charity, Shout, Crisis Text Helpline, and If You Care Share Foundation. And this foundation, I've been working, since I got out of prison, I've actually done a lot of work for them. I've raised thousands for their charity. I've done the Great North Run. I've done Tough Mudder, the Spartan Race. I've raised thousands for charity. I've also done a charity boxing fight. And I've had many thanks. I've had letters off them, cards off them, thanking us. But I've also got their number in there. And this is a suicide prevention, intervention and support for those bereaved by suicide. It's a local charity of mine that's helped me over the years because it helped me when I was suffering at the hands of suicide. But again, that page was dedicated to them 3 people that lost their lives, because I just think if there was more things around, or even books like this, that it has actually saved a lot of people. And the feedback that I'm getting off my book is phenomenal. And that's obviously why it's in the top 10 in the UK, because it's had good reviews. And this book has actually been selling worldwide. I'll also put up on the screen just here how many copies of my book I've just sold this year and whereabouts in the world my book has been sent to. It went to America, it went to Australia, it's in Spain, Germany, in all these different countries. And I can honestly say it to myself, I'm so proud about what I've done, and I'm making a difference to people's lives. But there's another section in the book, acknowledgements. I'll not go through them all, but Becky Little, who actually helped me design this book, because I couldn't have actually done it without her. Becky come into the gym to do the photographs for me book. But coincidentally, Becky had actually went to university studying how to design and make books. So we crossed paths just because she was a photographer to come out and take the photos. And she actually went on to help me design the book, and she'd done a brilliant job of it. But obviously, the other person who I was thanking the most out of everybody is my beautiful wife, Michaela. You've probably seen it on the podcast that I've done, whether it's on my channel. If you haven't seen it, go and give it a watch. And she stuck with me through everything. She watched me suffering because of what I'd seen. And she stuck through me through the whole lot. And if it wasn't for her, I probably wouldn't be here now myself. But a massive thanks to my wife, because she stuck through us through the prisons and everything, and she's still there with us now. We're living our best life. So, and my mate Stevie, who actually bought the gym off, I've reformed the gym and transformed it, into my own gym, which is that Ruthless Fitness, and it's actually become known as the best gym in Stanley now as well. Getting massive feedback from that. I'm helping loads of people in the local area. I've set up a mental health group all off my own back, free of charge, in my gym, that I run every Wednesday at 11 a.m. in the morning for men over the age of 18 who are suffering with mental health. And all this is all free of charge, and they can use the gym for free afterwards. And if anyone is local, or anyone who isn't local who's suffering, want to come along, give us a shout. Come to the gym 11 a.m. on a Wednesday mornings. I'll help anybody I can, and that's all that I'm about at the minute, helping everybody, because obviously the way that I've been in the past went down that wrong road, and people don't understand. You do things for a reason, you end up in prison. There's always a story behind it. But if I can just help that extra one person to not go down that route and turn their lives around, then it's all worth it. But again, my group, I've saved loads of lives. Even this charity that I was working with, that I am working with, If You Care Share, the feedback that I've getting that I've actually saved people's lives is phenomenal. So again, I'm really proud of what I've done, but I just wanted to share that with you all, because obviously you see the stuff about the prison stories and different things. And I just wanted to share with you why I wrote my book, when I wrote my book, and how my book is actually doing. But again, thank you all for watching, and thank you all for your continuing support. But if you do want to go along and buy my book, the links is in the description. You can get it from Amazon, WH Smith, Waterstones, but Amazon's the best place. And you can either get it from me as well, a signed copy. I'll sign it personally and post it out to you. The link is also in the description. But thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have a lovely day. Take care.